Welcome to Candid Conversations with Candidates, sponsored by Crow Wing Power in partnership with the Brainerd Lakes Chamber and Lakes Media Collaborative. I'm Steve Mao with Brainerd General Rental, partnering with the Brainerd Lakes Chamber. Joining me is Bob Passi, and Bob is a candidate for School District 181. Bob, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Now, this first couple of minutes here is an opportunity for you to share with the audience a little bit more about you, and I'll let you take it away.
Okay. Well, probably the biggest reason that I'm running is because public education has played a major role in my whole life. I mean, I went to school, elementary and secondary school in Melrose, and then I went on to the University of Minnesota, another public institution, met my wife and married there. Did graduate work both at Michigan State University and then back at University of Minnesota again. So my whole life has been formed in a way by public education, and now that I'm retired, I was really trying to find a way to give back to the community and to support that thing of public education, the institution of public education that has been so important to me. And I think that public education is probably one of the best investments that a community can make. For one thing, I think it's important because it is the heart of a healthy democracy. And besides that, it provides people everything about the community. That investment comes back manyfold in terms of good workers, in terms of leadership, in terms of good citizens, and in terms of the parts of the community that rely both on the students that come out of it, but also the people that work in the school are also citizens and participate in all kinds of ways. So I think that Brainerd has an incredibly healthy public school system, and I hope to keep it that way, and I think it will be that way, and I think the school board has been good, so I'm hoping that I can just be an addition to that. And I've had a broad range of experience. I mean, I've been involved in education as a student, as a teacher, as my own business, as I ran my own business, but I also have been married to a woman who has been in education for 40 years, both as a teacher and an administrator, so I've been in on discussions many nights about all kinds of things that happen in schools. But I've also been able to see education in Minnesota, in Michigan. We lived in Michigan for 12 years, lived in New York City, saw that, and then also in Silicon Valley in California, where my wife ran a private school. And so I've seen education from all kinds of positions. I also have been involved in adult education, and I've done some work up here in programming for older adults, both with unlimited learning in Crosby, and I have run the Great Decisions program, which is a foreign policy discussion group, both in Crosby and in a new group that just started this year in Brainerd and Baxter.
Okay. Well, thank you, Bob, for that introduction. Given all of that, what might be your top priority if elected to the school board?
Well, I don't really have an agenda. Okay. The biggest thing is that I think that there's something I can bring in terms of my broad background, and I'm hoping that I can be a part of that good decision-making process that's already in place. So it isn't like I want to change things or I think it's a pretty strong group at this point. So I don't have an agenda other than I want to be helpful and I want to give back to the community because it's given a lot to me. Public education has given a lot to me.
Okay. Being in the public sector, obviously, when we look at budget challenges are obviously difficult in any discussion, whether it's on the local, state, or federal level. The school district, obviously, money is always going to be a challenge. There's going to be so many folks that are willing to pay for it and some that may not. What do you see as budget priorities for the Brainerd School District and funding for those priorities as you go forward?
Well, there's a little way I'd like to change that. I think that the job of the school board, it seems to me, is to kind of balance an equation. I mean, you have the students, you have the professionals, the teachers, you have the administrators, you have the parents, you have the community, and you have the businesses and the civic organizations, all those things, and somehow you have to find a balance, and these are hard financial times. And it is about how do you find a balance? How do you not make different parts of the educational process pay too big a price, but still keep in mind what those realities are? And I think the school board has done a pretty good job of that already, but I think that's a continuing process, And I think that it's important, and really I just would like to add what I can to helping that process continue. So it isn't like I have some sort of secret answer.
Okay. So what are some of the things that, as a school board member, the school board can do to ensure that students are prepared to enter today's workforce?
Well, I think they're doing a pretty good job. I mean, I think they have a good, certainly the college preparation stuff is good, but I think they're doing some additional work on work readiness now. As I talked to Steve Rizidlo recently, and he said that there are some new programs that are beginning to be formed for work readiness to do more in that. That it's not that they're not doing anything. And that's an important part because college, well, for one thing, college is almost being priced out of the market for some people, and so there's all kinds of other levels that people are looking at for all kinds of reasons, and it's important for the schools to continue to do that work and to fund those programs and work cooperatively with other groups to get those programs to work and to see what kind of jobs are available in the area and to find ways to identify what those are and to help prepare students. And I think the school, my take on it is that the school is ready to do that. It isn't, I think they're even in the process of doing much of that.
Okay. So what do you think are some of the school district's biggest challenges and opportunities?
Well, the big challenge for everyone right now is how do you get how do you continue the investment that is you get paid back manifold for that investment in education. But how do you continue to do that investment in these difficult financial times? That's certainly one of the major challenges that I think everybody has on almost every level and every part of the society. I didn't, but the challenge and what was the other part?
Well, opportunities. I mean, some may look at it as challenges, some may look at the next 4 years or 5 years as opportunities with the advancement of technology or whatever. What do you see as opportunities?
Yes, well, I mean, certainly there's a lot of work that can be done in technology, and I think they are working on that right now, but there's always, technology changes so rapidly, so I think there's a lot of things that can be done with the technology. I think the biggest opportunity is just to find ways for the entire community to work together to solve these problems, because the financial one is the big issue. Mm-hmm. And besides that, I mean, we have to think about investing in the schools, in the buildings and things like that. Those are all investments. You can't just let that go forever. So how do you solve that problem? So there's an opportunity there, but it's really about how do you find the solution in that situation.
Okay, just a couple seconds left. Anything you'd like to add on a closing thought here for our audience, Bob?
Well, one of the things is, as I said, I'm retired now, and we're relatively new in the area. We've been here for 7 years, but we've been very involved in the community. And I'm just hoping that if people see the breadth of my experience as something valuable, that they might vote for me and see me as a valuable asset for the school board. And that's really my hope.
Okay. Well, wonderful, Bob. Thank you for joining us on the program. We want to thank our audience for joining us on Candid Conversations with Candidates. For this and other video interviews, please visit votebrainerdlakes.com. And remember, please vote on November 6th.